Well, I've just figured I'd touch base with everybody. I don't know how much I'm going to get to work on the jitney and the projects I've got going as far as model railroading this week. But anyway, I was just taking a walk around the nursery, disparagingly, looking at all the work that I've got to do. I'm so far behind this year, it's unreal. I took on so many extra projects, which is typical of the things I do. I mean, it's good and bad. I find out when I take on more and more and more, even though I'm not able to accomplish it all, I accomplish so much more when I put myself in that type of a situation. So this video is just to kind of give you an idea of why and how and everything is in my life right now, to give you an idea of what's going on and why I'm not working on the videos so much as far as model railroading goes. So I'm just going to take you a walk around the nursery and show you a lot of what I've got going on, and we'll just put this out there so at least you can understand what's going on. And most all the plants that I raise in the nursery, I start from cuttings, and all these 2-foot by 6-foot cold frames, I put all my cuttings in there. I can produce somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 plants every year. And some of these have just been in these cold frames for a long time. And you can see here a lot of the cold frames need worked on too, which I have not been able to do. But a lot of these are full of plants, and here's just one. These should have been potted up probably a couple of years ago, and there's close to 200 of these plants in this one cold frame. So I'm just way behind on doing all of my upgrading too. And here's one, just a small frame area which I put heating coils underneath, and I tried and experimented with this year for the first year. But then to move all that up, you've got to have containers. And last fall in that auction, I bought tons and tons of containers to start upgrading all these thousands of plants that I already have. And I'm going to be raising thousands and thousands more. And then, of course, besides containers, you got to have soil products. And I'm ordering in and buying just tons of stuff. And right now I'm mixing everything by hand that I'm using to pot up all these plants and stuff. So that's a long process in itself. I do have this soil mixer and conveyor belt, but until I have a permanent home and off my family farm here, it's just kind of sitting here, and I wish I could use it, but I'm unable to. And then there's other things, I had to put together this injection cart this fall so I could inject fertilizers into hose lines so I can fertilize stuff this year. It's just something I've not had the capability and had to hand do before. And this whole area here is perennials in 1-gallon pots. There's a few thousand of them in here, and they're buried in leaves, which I did for the winter, and now I've got to come back and unbury them and cut some stuff back, and it's just a major chore I haven't started into. And with the cutting flower business that I'm getting into, I've got to start creating all these beds for growing the cut flowers in, so I'm in the process of doing all that. And I've got this, I bought this I got it in an auction for the house I bought, this 52 Mercury. This thing only has 20-some thousand miles on it. It's got a flathead V8. It was missing a carburetor, but I did get a carburetor, but I've got to rebuild it. And, it's just something else I can't work on besides my trains right now, but I need to get onto it eventually here. And all the fruit, I mentioned to several of you that I ordered in tons of bare root fruit trees and various things this fall, and I just got all this stuff potted up. I ordered in a couple of hundred strawberries, so I had to build all this cage to keep chickens and animals out of it, and got the 200 strawberries in the ground here. So it won't be good production this year, but starting next year I ought to have a lot of strawberries in here. And then I've got the rest of the nursery, which is just tons and tons of container plants. There's, 150 or so 3 gallons down through here. In the springtime, you have to go through all this stuff and cut it all back and weed it all, recompact the soil in every pot, and then fertilize every pot with a slow release fertilizer. And there's just, there's a few thousand of these sitting outside of the hoop houses that, were not protected through the winter that I haven't got started on yet. It's all very time consuming, and there's only so many hours in the day. Thank God the hours are getting longer. But this hoop house, I was unable to get the ends on it, and you can see it's halfway under construction here. I wanted to get plastic over this last winter, which, you know, just didn't happen before winter. So because of that, you know, that you see several dead plants in here that the winter winds just desiccated, and I lost, you know, a fair amount of nice sized plants in here over the winter. There's also a lot of blackberries and fruit that will go in the ground when I eventually do get a fruit farm. But you know, it's just tons and tons of work. I'm in the middle of 3 separate businesses, and I'm the only one because I don't have a whole lot of income from them right now. You know, I'm just putting together my future, but can't afford to pay somebody to help me do it at the moment. So anyway, you know, this is inside one of the hoop houses that I did get plastic on this winter. And you can see this one I have been through. I've recompacted the tops and fertilized everything in this particular house. And, you know, and there's just, I don't know, I think there's maybe 1,600 plants or something in this particular house here. And, you know, this I need to start forcing growth on this year, so they'll all be sellable material next year. I may go ahead and sell some of them as a 1 gallon, but really the profit's in a 3-gallon plant. And a lot of this is just about ready to go into 3 gallons. So, you know, it's just a lot of work ahead of me. And, you know, and that's one of the reasons I can't get to the things I really want to do, like play with trains. And this is the 3rd hoop house that I did have under plastic this winter as well. And I'm only about 1/3 of the way going through these and doing my spring chore on these. You can see my mess here in the middle where I'm just working my way down the line. And I'm constantly getting new and bare root stuff in that I'm putting in here too. Some of this is new fruit and things that I'm trying to force grow on. A bunch of dogwoods that I collected in the woods, various stuff, you know. Here's a bunch of red raspberries that'll go in the fruit farm eventually. And on this other side here, I have some sales stock, but a lot of the bigger plants and stuff on this particular side of the hoop house, you know, once I get a permanent home, a lot of this will go into the ground and be a nice garden area, and then I'll use this to do cuttings off of to produce more baby plants to bring on into the container production and stuff. So a lot of this is just, you know, for use for that. The last area that I have is, you know, I've got one more tunnel, and I built this as a high tunnel for growing food in, although it became multiple purpose, I guess, the way it's set up right now. But a couple of cold frames at this end, but I have a bunch of containers in there too. These Japanese maples I had stored over the winter and leafing out, so I'm leaving in there for now. And just some mint. I have some flowers in containers. Here's some blueberries that are in the ground along this end, some strawberries, some blackberries and raspberries, you know, just miscellaneous fruit on this side here. On the other side, I've got a bunch of seedlings and stuff in this end, asparagus. This is a real rare honeysuckle here that's a coral color. More strawberries along this side here all the way down, or the majority of the way down. Then I'm doing some salad greens in there, and then I'm force growing some flowers and various stuff here for the flower market to go out into those beds I'm making. Here's some more flowers I'm just doing early. And these carts in the middle here are really bread racks from bread producers, but what I'm going to use them for is seed starting chambers. And I just picked these up this week so I can go ahead and start building those and have something a little better than anything that I don't have for starting seeds in. The other project I have is I have all these panels that are from a walk-in cooler from an A&P restaurant. They're ancient, but I've got to build some type of a cooler to keep cut flowers in and fruit and stuff like that. I have the air conditioner and everything, so I'm going to have to find time to come through in the next month and a half or so and get a cooler built that I can use. So there you have some of the reasoning why I'm not able right now to get some more videos up. I thought after last year I could get back on track, and you know, I guess until I get more property and get moved and situated in a permanent position and all that, it's just, I don't know. Hopefully things will slow down after I get everything in the ground, everything upgraded and stuff, but I'm probably still looking at several weeks to a month of, you know, killing myself to get this done. As a matter of fact, I just sit down in this chair and, you know, my butt don't fit it like I did. I can tell I'm working my off, right? So in any case, you know, another thing I didn't bring up, I went out to use my trailer this week to pick up those bread carts, and I couldn't use it. I had to tie them on top of my truck because something had chewed most of the wiring out from underneath my trailer. I went and looked at new wire, but copper right now is just freaking outrageous, and somewhere in my barn I've got buried a big chest of wire, so I'm going to have to spend an hour or two in there digging through stuff to try to find the wire to rewire my trailer so I can use it. It's, you know, if it's not one thing, it's 20, right? One step forward, two steps back. I mean, I'm making good headway. I'm not complaining. I'm more or less laughing about it, but you know, just so you know where I'm coming from, you know. I'm 63 and kind of starting over again. I mean, once I get land and get in position and do what I want to do, I mean, I'm going to be set. You know, I'm going to be in good shape, and you know, I won't be poor anymore. Hopefully I'll be able to hire some people to, you know, if you can find anybody that wants to work, that will do the work, to work for me and help me out to some degree. But right now, you know, all that we talked about, I've also been installing a patio. I did one major landscape installation. I've got another one that's going to take me a couple half a days to do this next week, and I've got another planting somebody else called me to do that won't be but probably a day's worth of work. But so besides for all of this, you know, because this isn't making me money right now, I mean, once the flowers are up and stuff, I can start selling flowers, and I am selling a few plants, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, my bills are next to nil right now, thank God. I'm getting ready to pay off the last couple payments on 2 loans that I have, so financially I'm in good shape. I mean, I don't have spending money, but I don't owe money either, so that's a good feeling. And you know, God willing, my car won't break down or something else. Normally when I just get to the point where I can breathe, something else happens to just, you know. I told a friend one time, I think I was born on a stack of rugs, you know. It's like you get up on your feet and somebody rips a rug out from underneath of you, you know, and you fall on your butt and you start to get back up again, and whoa, there goes another rug, you know. It's all in fun, but in any case, all that being said, that's the whole reason for me not working on the jitney in my trains. And, you know, I would rather be doing that, but, you know, life comes first, and I learned to swerve a long time ago, and I've been missing all the incoming balls that are being thrown at me. And, you know, I do see light down the road. I mean, I really do. Once I get settled online, I mean, there's nobody in this area that does the things I do and that will have a nursery like I have. I finally came up with a logo and I think a name for my farm and all that. I'm going to call it the 3B Farm, and basically it's berries, blooms, and bushes. And you know, I came up with a nice logo of 3 bees standing side by side, honey bees standing side by side. One has a pot of berries and fruit, one has a pot of flowers, and one has a bush in a, you know, in a pot. And then I found some nice lettering to use with it. So that's another thing I'm working on, is my logo, and trying to get everything ready so that I can brand my business. And you know, there's probably 10 other things I'm not even thinking off the top of my head that I'm working on right now. But anyway, with all that said, I'm going to quit rambling on and let you guys get back to playing with your trains. I mean, you can have more fun doing that than watching me. In any case, enjoy your trains, enjoy the hobby, have a good time. You know, God bless you all, and watch out after you, and happy model railroading.